Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be checking out this tablet from Walmart. This is the ONN 12.1 inch Tab Pro. Now, Walmart has been making tablets for a few years now. I've never had one myself, but the other day I happened to be in a Walmart and decided to pick this one up to check it out. Now, Walmart's current lineup of tablets include a 10-inch tablet, an 11-inch tablet, and even an 8-inch tablet. Each one has different specs, different processors. This one, at least on paper, is their best one. And this has a Helio G99 processor. It's got 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, which you can expand with an SD card slot, which is nice. The resolution of the screen is 2560 by 1600. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing here, then check out the overall performance of this tablet, then try out some gaming. I'll try some Call of Duty Mobile, see if this thing can even pull off Fortnite, and then I'll try some emulation too. I currently have two tablets. I have the Samsung Tab S7, which has a Snapdragon 865 processor. It's getting pretty old at this point. It's a 4.5-year-old tablet, but it still gets the job done. The other tablet I have is a smaller tablet, the AldoCube iPlay 60 Mini Turbo. That has a Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 processor. That's an 8-inch tablet, and I actually prefer a smaller tablet like that personally. Alright, so let's get this tablet out of the box, and right away I can tell just how large it is compared to my other tablets. Even the Tab S7, that one's 11 inches. Again, this one's 12.1 inches. And we do get a power adapter included, which is nice. Nowadays, sometimes you buy a tablet or a phone, it doesn't include this. And we are going to get a user guide and manual with the tablet as well. Pretty straightforward here. I usually don't even look at these things, to be honest with you. Alright, so I went ahead and logged in and got the tablet all set up, and so far first impressions is it is pretty snappy. You can go back and forth from different apps very quickly. Really no hiccups there. And I went ahead and ran Geekbench 6, and we got a single core score of 717 and a multi-core score of 1874 here. Alright, so I did want to do some Geekbench score comparison here with the other two tablets that I have. So here's that AldoCube iPlay 60 Mini Turbo. This had a single core score of 939 and a multi-core score of 2952, so it did beat out the Walmart ONNtablet. And then for the Samsung Tab S7, remember this is a 4.5-year-old tablet. We got a single core score of 1274 and a multi-core score of 3448. So obviously the Samsung Tab S7 has the best score in single core and multi-core score of all three tablets. And if you want a tablet for media consumption like Netflix, Hulu, and YouTube, definitely look into this tablet. Playback was smooth, and so far haven't had any issues with any of those apps whatsoever. So I usually don't test the camera on tablets because I feel like that's not what people get tablets for. But if you are interested, this has a 5 megapixel front facing camera and an 8 megapixel rear facing camera. Honestly, I would just use your phone to take photos. Don't use a tablet. And using the split screen option on a tablet this big is great for multitasking. You can browse the web or check an email on one side and then watch a YouTube video on the other side. Really like this option on a tablet this big. In that video, I called it the best PC I ever purchased, and honestly... Okay, now let's try some games. Here's Call of Duty Mobile. I didn't expect this to have any issues with this game, and here's some gameplay footage. I don't like playing with the touchscreen, so I am using an Xbox controller via Bluetooth, and it worked really well. Okay, next game is definitely going to be a challenge for this tablet. We got Fortnite here. The one thing about this tablet that it has going for it with this particular game is the 6 gigs of RAM. Most budget tablets don't have that much RAM. Usually they have 3 or 4 gigs. You can only set this to 20 or 30 FPS. I set it to 30 FPS, but most of the time I only hit 20 to 22 FPS. You could see the FPS on the top right of the screen, and yeah, sometimes it even drops down to 13. Despite the low FPS, I was kind of able to play, but don't purchase this tablet expecting to play Fortnite very well. Alright, next I tried Emulation. Here's Sega Genesis. This is Aladdin. Now for these low-end devices, or just Android devices in general, I like to use the Limroid app for the low-end stuff, up to PS1. You could, set up emulation on a tablet or Android device very quickly with that app. It's a great app. Definitely check it out. But here's Sega Genesis, and it works really well. No issues whatsoever. Alright, next up is PSP with the PPSSPP emulator. The only thing I really did to this was set frame skip on, and works pretty well here, as you can see. Alright, next thing I did was try the Dolphin emulator. Here's Gamecube. This is Mario Kart Double Dash. I was having issues with setting up the controller. That's why I'm using touchscreen, even though I hate using touchscreen. But as you can see, it runs pretty well here. Alright, here's one of the harder games to play. This is for Nintendo Wii. This is Tatsunoko versus Capcom. As you can see, some stuttering there. Still able to play the game, but every once in a while you get that stuttering. The longer I played, the less stuttering I saw. And if you like to read comic books on a tablet like me, this tablet is perfect for that. Usually I use the Hoopla app, which is an app in the United States that lets you borrow comics with your library card, which is pretty cool. You do get a week or two to read the comic, and as you can see, this looks really well. And on a tablet like this, it just makes it a lot easier to read, especially if you have bad eyesight, because you could pinch in and zoom in on each panel. To read the text on the tablet, so I absolutely love this. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. If you have one of these Walmart tablets, let me know in the comments below and what you think of them, or if you have any other suggestions for a good budget Android tablet. But that's going to do it for this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.